I am James.
I'm Jake.
We're Falcons Fury Harley-Davidson, and today we're going to look at what would be a really good bike for somebody that's just learning to ride. So we have a Ninja 400 and we have a Harley-Davidson Sportster. Now you'll notice this is the 48, so it's not the base Sportster, but I'm a really tall bastard and I just can't ride the 883 with the mid controls. My knees are up here, I look ridiculous. So we chose the 48 today, the Ninja. We're going to talk through them a little bit, then we're going to take them for a test ride, then we'll come back, talk about our final thoughts, so stick around.
So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the advantages of the Harley-Davidson and obviously actually some of the advantages of the Kawasaki. Obviously, as we've all said plenty of times before, I'm biased. We know what I like best, and for obvious reasons. But there are definitely some things that Kawasaki has brought to the table, and it would be very unfair of us not to address those. So one of the things I like about this bike for a starter platform is 400 pounds. Guys, that's light as a feather. And that's obviously going to be advantageous holding it up, learning how to ride it, stabilizing it while you're on the move. It's a reliable engine platform. It's parallel twin. It's dual overhead cam. It's a lot of the amenities that we like to see from companies that produce this type of motorcycle. I will say this. It likes high RPMs. Most of them do. So it's par for the course. And I was really impressed by the upright positioning because I am a Harley guy. And it wasn't uncomfortable like I thought it would be. But it's definitely not a Harley. Having said all these things, some of the things I think I'd like to point out, it's got a user-friendly clutch. And this bike has a lot of really cool things they brought to the table to make this a little bit more ergonomic. And so one of the things I like about it is it's really not a handful to ride. It doesn't make too much power to acclimate and learn very quickly. But that's a two-way street. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I'm not crazy about for a starter bike. Me personally, this bike would not last very long for me. I would outgrow it very quickly. At 400 cc's, it's not a lot of displacement, it's not a lot of power. I feel like that would get stale. It is fun to ride, but I also feel like you would get so used to it so fast that 3-4 months you're going to be trying to trade in. And that's kind of scary to me because I want to really invest time with a motorcycle. So that kind of leads to the 48 in all its glory. Because one of the things about the Sportster is it's not much heavier than that. And it makes a lot more power. An 883 has plenty of respectable power, but a 1200 has a lot more. It runs fantastic. It's awesome. But also you have forward controls on the 48 model. You have the wide front tire. And these things are advantageous for handling and ride comfort. One thing I'll say is the Kawasaki is cool. It's fun. But how far are you actually going to go on that unit? I mean, to be a sport platform, yes, it sits way better than most, but I still don't think I'm going anywhere too far. I might ride it around town, maybe commute to work or something. I like road trips. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it on something like this. I can stretch out, I can sit in this bike, and I can really feel the difference from sitting up high like this to low. I feel like that would present something a little more comfortable, something definitely user-friendly. But one other thing, I'm not going to knock the Kawasaki on fit and finish. It's built pretty well. And I feel like I have to specify that because it's not a Harley, and, well, we all know where I'm going with this. Harley-Davidson obviously has the best quality motorcycle that I have ever purchased, ridden, or experienced. It's built well. And it's built to last. It's built to live a long time. And so I feel like when you're starting out, the last thing you want to have to do is a lot of work on one. You don't want to be wrenching this, taking it to a shop, things as such all the time. You want to be out riding it. This is the whole reason you're getting into the thing. So I think that the Sportster really brings to the table a lot more than that. And I think that the value is going to be really important with what you're actually getting from the Sportster.
Okay, so we are off. I'm starting off on the Ninja 400, Jake's on the 48. That noise you hear, that's not the Ninja. This has a very quiet engine. It's got a nice little note when you give it some. Yeah, there you go, you see, it sounds good. You have to get up to about 8,000 RPM before you really start to hear this engine. Besides then, it's just quite a silent little thing. So today we're looking at what would be the best beginner bike, and I do quite like how that sounds actually. It's quite good. It sounds like a baby sport bike. It's quite good. It's not fast at all, which is what I think makes this a really good beginner bike. It sounds like you're going fast, but you're not. It's all just sort of in your head because that engine sound. So we're about to hit the bridge, so we'll talk about comfort on the Ninja. It's not the world's... it does sound good, doesn't it? Yeah, it's not the world's most comfortable bike. But again, it's not terrible. It's not like sitting on a church pew or anything. You know, it's quite good. Your riding position is definitely more upright than on a lot of sport bikes, which makes this good for a beginner because you're not leaning over the tank. You can if you want to, but it's certainly not designed to be that way. You know, your seating position is fairly upright. You have a good view of the road, and it's very easy to ride. The gearbox on this is fantastic. It just slips through the gears beautifully, and the suspension seems pretty decent. I'm a little bit on the heavy side for this motorcycle. I can feel the suspension kind of giving way a little bit under me. I'm close to bottoming out on some of those big bumps, but I'm not uncomfortable by any means. Oh, Jake's, look at him, he's all stretched out over there. He's just doing that because he knows I can't, because my feet are kicked up behind me. But for a beginner, either one of these will work. We're going to talk about the Ninja for now. It's really easy to learn on this motorcycle. It never gets away from you, and it doesn't have enough power to get away from you, and that's sort of the whole point of it. You can really rip this all the way up so it sounds really loud, or as loud as these bikes get, but you're not going that fast. Engine braking's good. Yeah, not bad at all. So it's always a good skill to learn when you're new to these things. The lean angle's fantastic, as you would expect, and we'll be honest, in the corners... Oh! Okay, the damn signal! It's up high, it's a different way to it is on a Harley, so I'm used to riding a Harley, so I keep hitting the horn, instead of turning the signals off. Fantastic. What was I talking about? I've absolutely no idea. That horn just that got me. Oh yeah, the twisties. This thing is going to outmaneuver the 48 in the corners, and that's just, there's no way around that. This is a sport bike. It's designed to take corners. It's going to do that. And the lovely thing about this is, because you don't have that much power, it's never going to get away from you. So you can kind of get down in the corners and you can take them, and you can really roll on the throttle as you're coming out of the corners, and you don't have to worry about it just getting all squiggly behind you, because it just doesn't have the power to do that. So it's really, really great to learn on. I'm really impressed with this, actually. I mean, I feel like I'm too big for this motorcycle, but in the same way, I'm too big for the Sportster, really. So if you're learning to ride a motorcycle and you're a big chap like myself, tall, not fat, there's a difference. If you're a tall chap like myself, these bikes are always a bit of a compromise, because they are great to learn on, but you feel a little tiny bit cramped on them. But it is what it is. The balance on it is beautiful as well. I mean, you can go down to really slow. I don't know what speed we're at there. And then let's give it some here. Ah, it's so fun. It's so fun going up to that tent. No. Oh, God, the signals. Anyway, It really is fun to ride. It's fun hearing that noise in your ears. I hope it's picking up on the microphone because it does sound really fun. It's not loud. It's fairly quiet, really. It could use with a little more noise, but it does sound good once you get into the upper ranges of the revs. But going around these little corners, it's fantastic. It just tracks beautifully. I mean, we're only going, what we're doing, 49, 50 miles per hour, so we're not going very fast around these corners, but you feel like it could go a lot faster as well. I'm pretty sure it could. New construction corner coming up. This is a lovely sweepy lane, and it's not going to be a problem on this thing. You can just kick it right over and it just goes. And you feel like you could go faster, like I could accelerate around this and do... What is easy? Did Jake just wave at new construction corner? What is he thinking? But like I say, it feels like this bike could handle a lot more speed. And it does have more. I mean, it's a 400cc engine, which isn't tiny. It certainly could go a little bit faster, and you can definitely go a little bit faster in the corners on this. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. If you are looking for a bike to learn to ride on, there are worse ways that you can go. So we're going to switch up now and let Jake have a go on the Ninja. I'm going to take over the 48. And going right from the Ninja to the 48, we'll talk about the differences and perhaps the advantages one or the other. I think one of the big advantages of this Ninja is it's really, really light. I mean, you can throw this around. It doesn't feel like you've got a massively heavy motorcycle underneath you. So as far as beginning to learn to ride, that could be advantageous. The 48 does look good though, doesn't it? I think objectively it's a nice looking motorcycle. Alright, let's get this thing in neutral. Alright. He's laughing because he knows it's just a baby sport bike. There we're on this 48. Okay, so this does have vents and hind pipes on, so this is not the... is he going to go? What is he doing? Is he doing the suspension? That's how we should test suspension. We just bounce up and down the motorcycle. That's it. Let's go. All right, we're off. Right, so this does have the vents and hind pipes on, so this is definitely a little bit louder than a stock 48. Right off the bat, you are aware that you have a much more substantial motorcycle underneath you. Weight is, although on paper not a huge amount different, just where the weight is, it feels a lot different. The vibrations are different. On the Ninja, it was like a buzziness to it, you know, like which is, you know, when you've got the high revs, you expect to be a little buzzier. This, because the revs are low, it's much more of a kind of chunky sound. It's more comfortable for me, certainly. I think the seat is, and that's to be expected. I don't think anyone's going to argue that a sport bike is more comfortable than a Harley-Davidson. That's a fact. People deal with it. And sound, it comes down to what you prefer. I like this grumbly sound that the Harleys give you, but the sporty sound of the Ninja, it has, it's nice. It's quite addictive. Now, coming up on these corners, Jake's going to take me on these. That I can guarantee. See, he can just leaves me behind on them, and I could. But then in the straights, I'll catch him right up again because I've got so much more power than he does. But in the corners, like I say, it's just. The Ninja is always going to win the corner battle. But these 48's pretty nimble. You can get them down. You can get them way down as well. So that's, you know, for a beginner, a 48, yeah, it's easy. It's a low motorcycle. The gearing on it is easy. Again, you don't have a massive amount of power. This one does have 1200. So if you're a beginner, an 883 might be a better choice because that's going to give you a lot less power than this. The 1200 will put out a little bit of power. It can get away from you if you're not super careful. But on the other side is if you buy a 1200, you're not going to feel the need to upgrade as quickly. 883, you're going to sort of be like, well, okay, I've got the slowest Harley. Maybe I need something more powerful. When you get 1200, you're sort of going, yeah, I could keep this for a while. This could do me for a bit. I'm so glad to be back to the signals that, you know, are on either side. I just love that. So we're heading back into the dealership now, and we'll give you our final thoughts on them. But I think, to be honest, great bikes. Both of these would be... Jake was just checking out that lady, wasn't he? he's just, you can't take him anywhere. You really can't take him anywhere. Now, but as far as beginner bikes go, either one of these is going to be fantastic. The Harley, I think, probably will last you a little bit longer, but we'll meet you up top. Bye.
So,
Final thoughts?
yeah, I was actually very impressed with the Ninja.
It was a lot of fun, wasn't it? It was a lot of fun.
No, it is.
Yeah.
And you can really, really rip through some RPMs on that bike.
Yeah, I think that's what's one of the funnest parts for me with the Ninja is, it's, you know, I always say it's more fun to ride something fast that's slow than something fast.
And ride it slow.
There you go, thank you. I got lost on that one, yeah. And that's how it is on Ninja, because you rev it, you're hitting 10,000 RPMs before you shift.
Every time.
Every time, so it feels like you're going really fast, and then you kind of look at the trees and they're just, okay, I'm not going that fast.
But it gives that illusion.
It does give the illusion,
which
successfully.
Is nice.
It is nice, it is nice. The Sportster, the 48.
Man, yeah. Guys, I'm a Harley guy. I can't escape it because this, like I said, I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
and there are some shots fired. I enjoyed that more than the Ducati Monster. Something's wrong
From
with
last
me.
week, yeah.
But this here, I enjoyed this the same as I always enjoyed this.
48s are great though, aren't they?
It's so
such
great.
a great bike.
It
Yeah.
really is. I've owned so many Sportsters. It's almost shameful because it's a great starter bike, but it's also a great it's a great go back to bike. I don't know how to explain it other than once you've had one, there's always going to be a part of you that digs it.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like your first girlfriend, isn't it?
Yeah. You're always going to have that special spot for a Sportster.
I don't remember the name.
I remember my first Sportster though.
I do remember my first Sportster too.
Yeah,
There you
no
go.
doubt.
Better than a first girlfriend.
Yes, I 1,000% support this message. It just, the forwards, I was able to really sit in it. Obviously, I like big old huge handlebars, but this was really fun. This gives kind of like that old school track feel to it because it's just low and lean and mean and cool, man.
Yeah, so if you are looking, first bike ever, first Harley, this is the way to go. An 883 if you're not as gargantuan as I am. If you are and you need the forwards, the 48 is a great way to go. Not going to knock the Ninja though. It was a lot of fun, and it is a good beginner bike, but it's going to be, you are going to outgrow it a lot faster than you're going to outgrow the 48. Like, I would still get on this happily and ride around. The Ninja, I wanted more. Yeah, I just wanted more. It sounded fun because it felt like you were going fast, and then you look down and things are just going slowly. I think I saw a squirrel.
He was keeping up.
He was, wasn't he? He was. Little bugger.
He was chasing the Harley.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for watching, and we will be back next time. Take care. Peace.
And if you guys, sidebar, are coming to look for your first bike, come see me at Falcons Fury. Me and James will be glad to look at it and fit you to the right one for you.
That's right. We always forget that. All right, guys. Thank you.